Chris here.
Tyrone.
And James.
Welcome, James.
Go ahead.
It's
really nice to be here.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
I appreciate you guys.
You're the one who got me going on this.
Come on. You predate, from the sounds of it, you predate me. You predate Unmuzzled Chat. You just needed some fire lit.
I needed a little push. Yeah, I did start the channel 2 years ago, and it just sat. I was just really wanted somebody to do it with me, and I couldn't find anybody. And then I found somebody who was brave enough to do this.
So. Hi.
You know what? Let's do a little icebreaker here.
Yeah.
Since it's the first time, James, Unmuzzled Chat.
Yes, Unmuzzled Chat. Let's push that real quick.
On Voodoo and the Matrix.
Yeah.
So I got a couple
oh,
gifts.
Yeah.
Couple gifts for Voodoo and the Matrix.
Nice.
You said you had 4 microphones, so I figured 4 koozies would be appropriate.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to use mine right now.
Perfect.
I like it.
Look at that right there.
We'll get you connected to my guy,
Yeah.
Alex, Black Eagle Apparel, because they make all sorts of awesome stuff.
I like this gift-giving stuff.
That was way too loud of a laugh. I'm sorry. That was real, though. That was a real laugh.
All right. So, James.
Yes, sir.
Tell us something about yourself. Give us a background story.
Oh, man.
Where were you born?
How?
You got to start from the beginning.
So, I was actually born in Utah, but the family moved to the East Coast just after birth because my even social match is East Coast, which is pretty cool. The first 3 indicate, I guess, geographically where, you get processed and whatnot. So kind of moved all over the place on the East Coast, like Pennsylvania, upstate New York, New Jersey, even Virginia for a bit before relocating back to the West Coast around the age of 7. But come to find out, like we were always playing in the woods out there as kids, and I had ticks on me and things like that.
Yeah.
It was kind of a normal ritual for us to get back to the house and us siblings pick off the ticks. And this will come full circle. It's like, wow,
no.
Why go into these specifics? Because I know, where
anyone that's played in the forest knows, right?
Right.
What you're saying, yeah.
Right. But yeah, I'm blessed to be in this country. I'm blessed to be in this beautiful state. There's pros and cons to anywhere you live,
right?
But
where'd you go to high school? Like what state?
Utah.
So you went back to your beginning.
Like we went back there. Yeah, for a lot of the elementary, junior high school, and it was just shortly. I did a bit of college, kind of simultaneously as I was engaged in high school, but yeah, it was just after graduating, within a year or so, made the leap to Arizona, and pretty much been here since.
Yeah.
So from what age till now did you live in Utah? From what ages? So because you went to the East Coast.
Yeah.
Then you went back to Utah.
It was about 7. Moved back to Utah about 7 years old.
Right.
And then I was there through 18, 19. Moved to Arizona.
Okay.
So been here solid amount now.
He doesn't want to say how old
I'm getting old, man. I got a birthday coming up this month, actually. A friend very kindly reminded me of the big birthday coming up later this month.
What birthday is it?
It's a big 4-0, bro.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be.
Man, I sure don't feel it. I mean, in ways, I feel 90.
You're young.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're young.
I'm getting close to 50, bro.
Yeah, look, you're young.
Well, thanks, Tyrone.
Yeah. You're young.
He's got an old soul, though.
I'm in the hot seat here. I don't even recall you guys getting in this much depth on episode 1.
All we said was we're going to suck less each episode. Yeah. We already got the music down.
Man.
It's already better. So yeah, now we want to know more. We want to get more in depth. We want to know more about like instead of just like,
You know what I think would combine into this conversation very awesome is like why we're sitting in front of this camera here today in front of these microphones. Mine very
well, we're going to get into
uniquely
the story.
special microphone.
Yeah, the one you have to hold.
My Weasley.
You're impromptu.
No, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So how did you get into podcasting? What was the thing that got you started into it?
well, it's crazy because I'm not here to play my violin, right?
Right.
We all have our own unique life battles, and it's uniquely, it's not even a competition. It's uniquely challenging for every single one of us. But it's interesting. I found myself in a unique situation where about 3.5 years ago, shoot, how far back do we go, really? But I was checking a lot of life's boxes, but I was deteriorating. And we couldn't really hone in on as to why this level of dysfunction was happening within my body and my mind. And luckily found a doctor that actually was well educated and didn't have that complex. So he's kind of a humble doctor, constantly seeking education, which is so important to find within, you know,
in the medical field, like
Yeah.
finding a doctor who really understands that he's practicing medicine.
yes,
He doesn't know it all.
and trying to get to the root of issues
Right.
more so what they're taught in putting band-aids like big pharma and Western medicine and
Right.
the indoctrination they deal with their MDs.
That's a problem with today in the medical field. Like
100%.
they feel like they
It's a
all
huge
know
problem.
it, and
Mhm.
like they're just going to be able to say this is what it is, and they just try to. We got to figure it out. This is what you have,
Right.
and then they're wrong.
So
Right.
what did they find?
So it ended up leading to a positive Lyme disease diagnosis about 3.5 years ago. And my life ever since then has pretty much, I feel like a lab rat, man, because what helps one individual with Lyme disease doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do anything for the next, because
Right.
it's a very unique disease and uniquely impacting depending on, you know, our genetic makeup and our own metabolisms and immune systems and things of that nature. And man, it's just been quite the roller coaster. So when I finally found a protocol about 3 years in, that actually was moving the needle in the right direction, where I gained some function,
Mhm.
like could see through the brain fog, and it just, I mean, you guys know what you're trying to do on this podcast, and essentially ensuring a better tomorrow, focusing through your own unique ways on improving lives. And it just, long story short, it just felt like, wow, I need to give more awareness to this disease.
Yeah.
To help. And I want to help, like, build something to where I'm able to give people a voice, like the voice I didn't have through the struggle.
Right.
So it's just kind of ensuring a better tomorrow, and obviously that entails a lot. And then improving lives by just having these conversations, like what's helped you, what's helped every individual, because everyone's individual story matters.
So let me ask you this. So
Yes.
right now, you're telling us that you're living with Lyme disease.
Correct.
So what have you, or what are you doing to sustain your health with that?
There's a lot. Anyone out there really dealing with health issues, I think it's important to kind of step back and look at all aspects to our existence. And so for me, it's been a spiritual journey.
Okay.
It's been an emotional journey. It's been a nutritional journey, a physical journey, you know, a relational. Because the more you can have the proper support, so you can check all these boxes, and it's just going to help further and set you up kind of for success with the disease or whatever is ailing you and bringing you down.
Okay.
Now, regarding the Lyme disease specifically, it's been quite a battle and a struggle finding the doctors that have the unique input for me specifically is going to have the maximum impact.
Mhm.
So I've just like I mentioned, like lab rat, I've done, man, 6 or 7 different protocols at this point, 9 different doctors. I spent 6 months one summer up in Idaho for treatment. And it's interesting because a lot of these different protocols seem to move the needle in the right direction. But as soon as we backed off, it's like Lyme came back with a vengeance. And it would just end up debilitating all over. And a lot of folks probably are like, well, what is Lyme disease? And I mean, it's wild to me. I'd want everyone to kind of sit here and question, like, why, like, even me, I can't be ignorant, and I got to throw myself in the batch of it. Like, why wasn't it I even knew much about this disease? Like, I personally had to become afflicted
Right.
to get educated on it. And so I'm way past a lot of the information as I've absorbed it throughout the years now, because I know the level of impact. So initially it was kind of like, well, how debilitating is this? How common is this? You know, life threatening, and just all these things. And come to find out, it's a far greater issue. So let me answer some of these questions, because in America alone, over 500,000 people get diagnosed each year with Lyme disease. And it's the most misdiagnosed and undiagnosed disease known to man. It's also the most patented disease known to man. So that tells you a lot right there. Okay.
Okay.
And so 500,000. If you actually, so being the most misdiagnosed, undiagnosed, and there's reasons behind that too. And there's documentaries I could reference your listeners and people to look into, such as The Monster Inside Me, The Silent Pandemic or Epidemic. That one's really good. But yeah, we'll definitely add some links here. But
We'll put them in the comments.
yes, so there's millions. Actually millions that have it, because the reality of my walk is I've had it since before I was 7 years old. Now, it didn't necessarily really drag me down until my immune system, it would never really naturally leave your body on its own. So as you continue your walk, once you have it, it's almost just, it's inevitable, because it's causing inflammation throughout the body and it's wrecking your immune system. So it's only a matter of time to where your body essentially deteriorates and ends up losing the battle to Lyme.
Mm-hmm.
And Lyme is a precursor to many things such as cancer, MS. I mean, there's over 300 illnesses attributed to Lyme disease.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy, because it's like the perfect bioweapon in a sense, because it's not getting acknowledged is the root of so many of these other issues, such as arthritis. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Depression, even. So
you feel like there's a lot more people that have it that don't realize they have it.
100%.
Yeah.
You get any Lyme literate doctor, they would tell you this is a true epidemic, and it's even greater levels than clearly the pandemic and many other things. So if in fact, like you even look at that, what is being diagnosed, like 500,000 each year, that is more than breast cancer and HIV combined.
Oh.
And we know all about breast cancer.
Yeah.
We know all about HIV.
Yeah.
And in fact, Lyme itself could be the precursor to the breast cancer and other cancers as well. So it's like,
It weakens the immune system, so
we-
everything else can take over.
right.
Okay.
So
So
why is it? That becomes the question. Why is it that, like me even, I wasn't aware of such a debilitating disease, because this can kill you.
Right.
Let's just say it more often. It's known within the Lyme community. It's kind of a saying that it won't necessarily kill you. It can. It just more so makes you wish you were dead. Which,
So how long did it take them to properly diagnose you with Lyme?
over 30 years.
No shit.
Over
Wow.
30 years. Now, I was luckily able to function throughout all those years, and I attribute one of those things, God,
Right.
looking after me, and the number 2 had been fitness, nutrition, and health. Because I feel like I had a leg up on the Lyme for many, many years, and being active in sports and mindful of nutrition and working out. So it kind of kept it at bay. But as you continue down that road in life, and you bonk your head and you have stressors and challenging relationships and things to that nature, your immune system has its lulls, and that's where Lyme kind of finally got to a point in my walk where it became chronic. And then that became very life threatening because I just felt as though if I continued on that path, I wasn't going to be around for much longer. I mean, in full transparency, there were points in my life where I was so dysfunctional and so low. If I would have had any more function in me, I would have thrown in the towel.
Okay, so
I just didn't even have the ability to connect the dots to even do that.
You were too weak at the moment.
Right.
well, okay, well, right now, me looking at you, you look like a pretty fit guy, right?
Oh, thanks, man.
So,
Try.
so for somebody that's battling with that, like, what would be your recommendation to help them sustain that good, healthy, fit lifestyle? Because I mean, you look pretty jacked, bro. Like, no homo, but you look pretty jacked. You know
Thanks,
what I mean?
man.
He's part of my gym family.
Well, Chris here, he gives me tips and tricks all the time.
No.
It the fitness side of things, like I said, that's kind of the second attributor for me to even like staying in this game. The look side of it, I've always said is more so the bonus. I always like it kind of wasn't even an option. I knew years, sometimes grinding, days, weeks, months, years. Like if I didn't make it in, like I was just going to be deteriorating, and it was going to lead to a place I was scared of. Like I didn't want to go there. So luckily the fitness side of it, but my body wasn't functioning as it was designed throughout all of that. So like it was very challenging because there was a lot of inflammation throughout the body. So I couldn't stretch enough. Even though I was putting in time, trying to eat and whatnot, like it just wasn't reacting right. So for anyone struggling with anything, and it's not just Lyme, like it's kind of looking at just everything. I like to just add baby steps, like acknowledging. I don't know why it is. Like even for me, reflecting back just on a week ago, like it's wild where I was, Tyrone. Like I know we just met, but
right.
bro, like you'd see me on the struggle bus at the gym, and it was just like, dude, I'm not even present in my body. Like I can't even effectively articulate just a week ago where I was.
But you were there.
I was having an out of body experience and walking through a fog. I didn't even feel in control of this vessel. It was really interesting because like you would see a reflection in the mirror and you're like, that is a misrepresentation. Like I don't even that's tripping me out looking at that because that man looks together and I'm not even here. Right? It's trippy because
so some people have like body dysmorphia. You were having mind dysmorphia, like just like you weren't even connecting yourself with your body and your soul. Like you were just feeling distant.
The spirocheted known as Lyme disease. It's in ways. I mean, I think it's even more dangerous in ways than cancer. As we view cancer, cancer seems to have pretty much no limitations throughout the body. That's similar to Lyme disease. All these other bacteria or parasites, things of that nature, tend to only have a limited dwelling within the human body.
Mm-hmm.
But Lyme disease, there's no limitation. It can go into the muscle tissues, the ligament tissues, even bone marrow. It can work its way past the blood-brain barrier. So now it can impact not just your neurological function, but even your receptors and how they function. Like, so it can inhibit and entirely cut off your dopamine and serotonin, and that's why it's been attributed to kind of that phrase within the Lyme community is the disease that makes you wish you were dead. Because when you seemingly can't function, and on top of that, there's no happiness to be had. It's just that's why it's so directly connected to people actually suicide.
Yeah, depression. Yeah.
So like cancer,
Mhm.
are there like different phases or like stages to Lyme disease?
Well, I know with the actual spirochete, And
They say when they catch it early, it's
They're-
way easier to treat.
yes,
Yes.
if you just got bit, and this is what's scary, Tyrone. It used to be specifically, well, I mean, it's questionable as to how far used to be actually is a good even word for it. But we only identified it through ticks dating back to the Cold War. And there's a book called Bitten that talks about the origins and a lot of practice of biowarfare. And you have it pulled up right here.
Yeah.
There's a bioweapons lab off of the coast of Lyme, Connecticut called Plum Island. And there's a lot of historical testing that has been done in that lab. And the book Bitten covers a lot of what they did and through a lot of the scientists that were even involved in this lab. And they did testing on flies, mosquitoes, fleas, ticks. They did cluster bomb testing, all sorts of things. And come to find out, just off the coast of Plum Island, Lyme, Connecticut, where they isolated the first actual Lyme disease in the
Case.
wild.
Yeah.
Case. That's where the name Lyme even derived from Lyme, Connecticut.
This is something they just keep doing, though. Like,
Bro,
right,
biowarfare is so freaking dangerous. This
The governments do this-
undoubtedly was created and it's enriched so many, but even more important than enriched, it's devastating lives. And
they have zero care about
Yeah.
what happens. All they need is they see this,
Right.
they want to study it, and like coronavirus. Come on, we
Right.
all know this is out of a lab.
Right.
So
Yeah.
granted, we didn't do it in the United States this time. No, we funded it through in another country. We were still the reason for it. We still funded it.
Well, there's some pretty learned folk out there that would argue it actually was created right here in Fort Detrick and
Okay,
exported, and
to
strategically
Wuhan.
destination. Yeah. So who knows? Who knows? Some of that's important. It would be great to get to the bottom of a lot of that. I think
It
I
takes
think
like 20, 30
accountability
years to get to the
and
bottom of
things
anything.
like that could be a tomorrow problem. In a perfect world, we would like to see all that, but realistically speaking, the most important thing we could do, just like cancer 20, 30 years ago, is bringing recognition and awareness to it.
Mhm.
Because 20, 30 years ago, cancer is kind of like where Lyme is today. It wasn't recognized through Western medicine. It wasn't covered by insurance. It was seen more as kind of how Lyme is today, like being all conspiratorial or whatnot. But I mean, it's literally a fibrous substance. My S's are sharp. This little peanut microphone. I
You're doing
apologize,
well.
listeners.
You're doing well with it.
I'm trying to work it for you without eating it. Well, we're diving into the weeds. Let's do some connections. So for folk that want to look into it more, there are documentaries that bring the receipts. They connect their sources. It does far greater of a job than I could do sitting here to